Hey friends, today's workout is about building your glutes and hamstrings. I have 4 exercises that primarily target the glutes and 2 that primarily target the hamstrings. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first exercise is barbell hip thrusts. This is one of my heavier exercises of the day, and I always do it first because it requires a lot of energy. If you don't know how to do a hip thrust, there are lots of great tutorials on YouTube, and I will link my favorite one by Lucy Davis Fit in the description. Key things to remember when doing a hip thrust is to keep your chin tucked the whole time. This will prevent back injury, especially if you are planning on lifting heavy. This is a hip hinging movement, meaning the only body part you should focus on moving is your hips. It might look like my arms are helping to bring the weight up, but they are simply acting as hooks. They do not do anything other than help me maintain balance during the reps. You might also notice that I don't let the plates touch the ground at all. By using this method, I am keeping tension on the glutes the whole time. I'm doing 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps and increasing the weight with each set. You can do this exercise with or without a resistance band, but the band helps keep your knees pointing out and therefore puts more tension on the glutes. Exercise number 2 is dumbbell squats. I have my feet a little wider than shoulder length with my toes pointed slightly outwards. I am leaning forward a bit when I squat, and this is what feels comfortable for me, but you can squat straight up and down if that feels right for you. My range of motion is short, so when I come back up, I am still leaning forward with a bend in my knees. I do this to keep tension on the glutes the whole time. I'm doing 4 sets of 15 reps. Exercise number 3 is leg press on the machine. I have a wide stance with my toes pointed outwards to target the glutes. My range of motion is pretty short. I am not bringing the weight all the way down because this shifts the tension away from my glutes and onto my lower back. When I first started doing this exercise, it took me a while to find the best foot placement and range of motion that worked for me. So don't worry if it takes you a little time to figure it out as well. For this exercise, I prefer lighter weight with more reps, and I am doing 4 sets of 15 reps. Exercise number 4 is the hip abduction machine. As I do the reps, I am leaning forward and pushing the weight in a slow, controlled motion. These are basically negative reps, meaning as I lower the weight, I am going really slow. It takes me 3 to 4 seconds to bring the weight down, and that might not seem like much, but after 12 reps, your glutes will be burning. For this exercise, I like to go light to moderate with the weight, and I am doing 4 sets of 12 reps. Moving on to hamstrings. My gym just got in the single leg hamstring curl machine, and I love it so much. By doing this exercise, I discovered that my left side is stronger than my right. And it can be hard to see where you might have an imbalance if you are always working out both legs at the same time, and this is where strengthening each side individually comes in handy. Ideally, the heel of your foot will tap your bottom at the top of each rep, but you don't want to sacrifice form to make this happen. If you have to swing the weight up to get your reps, then the weight is too heavy. And if you start to feel it in your lower back, it could be because you are using momentum to get the weight up. Since I am so new to this exercise, I want to make sure my form is correct from the very beginning. I've been doing this exercise without any weight on the machine, but I did add 2.5 pounds to it for one of my sets, and I still got in all the reps, even though it was a bit more challenging. I am doing 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Now we are on to the final exercise, which is stiff leg deadlifts, otherwise known as RDLs. As I lower the weights down, I am sticking my hips out and basically sitting back as far as I can. This motion not only puts tension on my hamstrings, it also keeps my back flat as I perform the reps. This is a hip hinging movement, and I am just focusing on bringing my hips back and then forward at the top of the rep. Despite the name, my legs are not actually stiff. As you can see, I do have a bend in my knees. When I bring the weight back up, I am not standing up straight. I am still leaning forward just a bit to increase the time under tension. The last point I want to touch on for this exercise is my range of motion. I bring the dumbbells down almost to my ankles, and this is what's comfortable for me. For some people, when they do it this way, they will either feel tension shift to their back or they will have trouble feeling their hamstrings working in general. You have to work within your range of motion, and if yours is just past your knee, then that is completely fine. As long as you can feel your hamstrings working and no back pain, then that is what matters. So that is it for this video. Remember to stretch afterwards, even if you just have time for a few yoga poses. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought in the comments and if you would like to see more like this one. Thanks for watching and see you next time.